So the question many people are asking today is, should they sell their house first before they place an offer on a property to buy? Well, the spoiler alert is yes, they should. But we have 5 reasons why this is the case. So in today's seller market, the chance of selling your property is very much easier than it has been in many years. So what are the 5 reasons why you should sell your property first? The first is to improve your chance of buying your dream home. With there being so many buyers in the market now, all chasing a limited stock of property, then there's a chance you're going to be in competition with others who would also like to purchase your dream property and possibly place an offer on the property too. If you've already placed your property in the market and might even have had an offer on it, then the seller of your dream home will look at your offer more seriously. This is because they will feel more certain that you will be a serious prospect in terms of buying their property. This not only will provide the seller of your dream home with more certainty, but it will convince them that they won't have to wait for you to sell your property. And selling your property might be a challenge. You may have to drop the price in order to sell it, and in order to keep to deadlines, in order to complete on time. In fact, one local agent here in Guildford has even gone so far as to saying to buyers that they must have their property listed on the market first before they'll even entertain letting them view a property. The second reason is that sellers will take your offer more seriously. With there being so many buyers on the market at present, a seller needs to be convinced that you are a serious buyer for their property, and to have your property listed already will certainly give them that confidence. They might even refuse a higher offer on their property if they know that you've had your property listed or indeed have had an offer accepted on it. A seller might even accept a lower offer if it can be seen that you are willing to be flexible as regards other terms of the transaction. So in today's market, you not only need to be able to back up your offer, but be expected to be challenged by the estate agent as to whether you have matters in hand as regards selling your property. If you've made the assumption that you can place an offer on your dream home and then sell your property afterwards, this could put you in a precarious position. This is because you'll have to rush through the process of finding an agent, making the property respectable and going through viewings. Many people fall into the trap whereby they find their dream home, they place a higher offer than they need to in order to entice the seller to accept their offer, and they haven't placed their current property onto the market yet. This means they fall into a situation where they're rushed to find an estate agent, rushed to make the property respectable, and they have to rush to organise viewings. And this means to say that they may have to accept a lower price on their property in order to sell it quickly. If this should happen, they may receive less for their property and therefore not be able to afford the offer that they made on their dream home. And this would also put the seller of the dream home in an awkward position whereby they have to list their property again. So basically you'll be back at square one. Number 4, have an accurate figure that you can use to budget for the purchase of your new property. In this current seller's market, listing and hopefully selling your property first will put you in a very strong position. This is because you'll know exactly how much you'll have in order to afford your new property. For example, if you've listed your property for $350,000 and you receive and accept an offer of $375,000, then you have an additional £25,000 in order to purchase your new property. Now this could offer you a much wider range of properties to have a look at, and might even provide you with the chance to buy a bigger property than you'd hoped for. So in this scenario, you'll have an additional £25,000 to spend on your new property. And this greater affordability could enable you to view larger properties that weren't previously in your budget. So if you have received an offer on your house, then you'll have an idea as to exactly how much you can afford. This, as I say, puts you in a very much stronger position. So if you have received an offer that you have accepted, you will therefore know exactly how much you can afford to buy a new property. This puts you in a much stronger position, even if you haven't found your dream home yet. This is because it's up to the estate agent to manage the situation. They have to be able to manage the buyer for your property and their expectations in terms of timescales and other terms of the transaction. In the meantime, this will enable you to go out and view properties that will suit your needs. Only in the situation where the buyer for your property does become agitated because they do need to move by a certain date, may you therefore have to consider being flexible and therefore looking perhaps for some short-term accommodation for both you and your furnishings and fittings. And of course, in today's market, there is the Airbnb solution. So you could find a rental property just for a very short time as needed. They can be honest with the buyer for their property by making sure they are aware that you are still looking for your new home. In fact, they can even make the offer subject to finding a new dream home first. So no expenses being incurred by either the seller or the buyer. In fact, this could strengthen the seller's position because whenever negotiating with the seller of their dream home, they can say that they are a serious buyer because they have a buyer for their property. So all in all, these are the 5 reasons why it's always best to sell your property first in this current seller's market.